Welcome everybody, Star Flag Media Gaming, and you guys all know Chris.
What up, what up, what up, man? Good goddamn, it's been a long time.
It's
I,
been
I swear.
been a few weeks. Been a few weeks, man. Welcome back. So since you've been gone, a couple of things have happened. We had another Xbox price hike. We had Game Pass price hike. We had the Xbox ROG Ally X come out. A lot of stuff.
LGBT, Rog.
All of that. Pokemon ZA came out. I know you're a big fan of that.
Yeah, I like
Um,
cool.
we have biggest news for this week, of course, is GTA 6 got delayed again.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yo, man, I heard about that, and I'm hearing rumblings that it's because I don't know how true this is, but I guess the workers were trying to unionize.
They fired a bunch of union people that were trying to unionize right before they actually got to unionize.
So they making the game, they're close to delivering on said game. They think they have the power in their hands, and guess what? Nah, you think you about to unionize on my dime on my watch? Nah, you got to get the fuck up out of here. I get it from both sides. I understand. Um, being a worker, I get being a part of the machine,
But
and
but you've also been management.
but I've also been management. And listen, yo, one monkey don't stop no show. Listen, we got to get this shit done. All right, it's okay. It's how many of y'all? It's three. It's 12. It's five. It's six. It's 10 of y'all. They gotta go. Get them
Yeah,
out.
everybody's replaceable. Everybody's just a cog in the big wheel, and
Yep.
that's it.
No
At the
one's
end of the day.
no
Um,
one's bigger than the show. And
yeah,
you can R.I.P. David Ruffin, who thought he was bigger than the Temptations. No one's bigger than the Temptations.
he thought they were coming to see him. Uh, but yeah, it was turned out it was the whole show. He was not
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake. He tried to be before Justin. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6 keeps getting delayed, and the CEO said when we set a date, we really do believe in it. He told the game business on Thursday. We said when we set the last date, if games require more polish to be the best possible version of itself, then we will give that game more time. And that's exactly what happened. We feel really good about this release date. It is in the same fiscal year, and it happens to get a great release window. And naturally, we're really supportive of Rockstar's approach. But you know what he said around this time last year when they said it was coming out in March?
Yeah. What
He
he said.
said, I'm highly confident, and at the same time, there have been limited circumstances where more time was required to polish the title and make sure that it was spectacular. And that time has been well spent. When our competitors go to market before something was ready, bad things happen. That said, I'm highly confident on the new date. And that was when they pushed it to March.
All right. You know what I
So
think?
it's copy and paste.
It do sound copy and paste. You know what I think? I think the first one was they seen the backlash that what's that PlayStation game that came out?
Ghost of
Um,
Yote?
that, huh?
Ghost of
No,
Yote?
the one the $200 million PlayStation game that fumbled.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Concord.
Okay, Concord. Yeah, they looked at Concord, Cyberpunk. I think they read the room and they said we can't just put it out like that, because they know it's a check. They know once the game drop, it's a check. They're gonna get paid. Period. Right. So I think they read the room and they said, you know what? No, we gotta give it more time in the oven. Right. I believe the first time. The
How much more
second time,
time? 12 years?
the second time, I don't think they. I think they started. So
There's no
I
way
don't believe.
there's no way they were developing this game for only 2
Yeah,
years.
I think they probably started developing that game probably 2014 ish,
I'm gonna
2015.
that sounds about right. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
when GTA Online made it onto like PS 4, Xbox One. They
Yeah,
probably at that point started looking at GTA
yeah.
6.
After
It's been a solid decade.
after Red Dead 2 launched,
Yeah, that sounds about right. They must
yeah.
have been focusing on this.
So I think that was the first. So that was, I believe, the first delay. The second delay, I think they was like, "Yo, what the fuck going on? What's taking so long? Wait, hold on. Union? Oh, y'all dragging your feet?" And now they know how much money that they spent to making this game, and they know they got a guaranteed check. And you talking Union? Oh yeah, no, fuck that. So
Maybe.
I think,
I think that has something. Yeah, that has something to do with it. I don't disagree. Um, I just think that it doesn't surprise me that something that you wrote in the group chat. If this game goes to 2027, I wouldn't be shocked.
yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. No, I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked.
If we see this in spring of 2027, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and then you got all these gaming companies pushing back their releases because they don't want to drop in that window. So that's how much of a
Their power. That's
yeah,
GTA.
that's their power. Yeah,
Who
it's
wants to come out the
GTA.
same week as GTA?
Nobody.
It's gonna be a
So
monster.
if it come out 2027, will it come out in March or will they wait for holiday 2027? I don't know. I think
I don't know
that
holiday, but maybe spring. If it doesn't make it to it, let's so they got a year now, right? So we've got a year till it drops. If it doesn't make it in November, I would say spring. The and not because I'm a Nintendo fan, but the only thing that can drop next to GTA and be successful is a mainline Mario game because they're so different.
yeah,
And that's because and guess what? People will buy both. But there's nothing else can drop next to it. Not
yeah.
a Metroid, not a Donkey Kong, not a
It's
nothing else. This is gonna be no Sony first party title, no
yeah.
Xbox title can go up against. It's a monster. It's a juggernaut.
GTA is like the Taylor Swift equivalent in the music world.
It's pretty big. It's pretty goddamn big. You may not like it. It may not be your cup of tea, but it's a monster.
Yep. Your favorite artist wants their album to come out on, let's say, December 1st, and then Taylor Swift's album drop on November 30th. They're gonna say, "Hey, let's wait 2 weeks, big dog. Let's
You know
wait
who
2 weeks."
this reminds me of? Not to get off subject, but it's the same thing when Super Mario Wonder gets announced, and then Sega says, "Yo, we're gonna do Sonic Superstars the same day.
Yeah, that was stupid.
We're gonna do a 2D Sonic game next to a 2D Mario game."
Yeah, that was stupid. That was just retarded.
What a bad move!
Yeah,
Like, yo, Sonic's great, but
it is, but it's not.
don't
It's not Mario.
not against Mario, man. It's not the
Yeah.
same time. You gotta know.
Horizon,
You gotta know.
Horizon is great, but Elden Ring, come on now. The same
What are
week
you
is
doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Imagine
the same
putting
week is the same week as Breath of the Wild.
exactly. I was gonna say it's Legend of Zelda. It's like, what are you doing?
It's stupid.
So, needless to say, the internet has not been handling the GTA, the GTA 6 delays. My favorite comment came from a user on Blue Sky. Aaron.mn says, "I can't believe we got another GTA 6 delay before we got GTA 6," which is fucking is very funny. But yeah, to move on to the next thing, Call of Duty has a movie coming out, and believe it or not, do you know who was set to direct it?
Who?
Steven Spielberg was set to direct the Call of Duty movie, and Call of Duty passed on Spielberg, who is now making Gremlins 3.
Oh, that's so stupid. All right. No, all right. I'm sorry. This is news to me. I didn't hear about this. So, didn't Steven Spielberg make Saving Private Ryan?
He sure did.
Okay. So now in Call of Duty World at War, they had Saving Private Ryan
It's tributes and yeah, absolutely.
In that game, right?
Yeah.
So now if I'm Call of Duty and I'm a struggling franchise and I wanted to make a movie, so when you said the movie, right? In my head, I'm thinking if it's gonna be an action movie, you better get the dudes who make the Fast and Furious movies. That was
Okay.
my first thought. That was my
Right.
first thought. It would have to be Fast and Furious,
Yeah, or
right?
Michael Bay, Transformers.
Yeah, it would have to be that. Nah, not Michael Bay. You got to
That,
get
but
Fast and Furious. You
have you
got to
seen Fast and the Furious lately? Because that's
you got to have the
basically a
B wing.
Michael Bay film.
You got to have the stealth wing bomber pick up the fucking car on the mountain and fly off.
Oh, that's if they make Black Ops 6 or 7. Yeah, that's what they got to do. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
You're right. Yeah, yeah.
now when you said now they're
But
going
but if they're
Steven
making a war movie,
Spielberg, bro.
yeah, he was gonna produce the film. If you're gonna make a war movie, who better? Who better than Steven Spielberg? But apparently, it says here Warner Brothers has announced that Gremlins 3 is coming out instead. Who Steven Spielberg, who was reportedly denied a chance to make the Call of Duty movie, is now going to partner up with the OG film writer of Gremlins, Chris Columbus. His name is Chris Columbus, and yeah, he's gonna go ahead and make Gremlins 3. I just thought it was an interesting little tidbit that Steven Spielberg gets denied the chance to make a freaking movie. Like, I would think this guy, anything he wants, he should get at this point. You're Steven freaking Spielberg.
Columbus, the Usador.
Yeah, so I had a video come out this week. I had 3 videos. It was a 3-parter.
Difficulties. Put something flashy out during that.
I don't know what you were attempting to do there, but yeah. We had a 3-part video series come out for Battlefield. The first part was basically me reading just articles online. The first was a Kotaku article saying that the honeymoon was over with the Battlefield 6 community. They're leaving negative reviews on Steam because they're feeling like they're being forced to play RedSec, the free version of Battlefield 6, the Battle Royale. That those maps are higher quality. They got the destructive environments. They've got everything they wanted in the Battlefield game that they paid $70 for.
Yeah.
But the Battlefield game that they paid $70 for has the smaller maps, and they're getting sniped every time they poke their heads out, and it's not what they wanted. What they wanted, the stuff over there, but they didn't want to. But they don't want to play that version of it because that's more arcadey Call of Duty style, right? So I posted that video, and it was like the ratio of likes to dislikes is like 17% likes. The rest was atrocious dislikes. People hated it. People called me a Call of Duty shill, even though this was not my opinion. This was me just reading what was going on and from a Kotaku article. So I then addressed those comments in the following video, right? And I just say, hey, look, this is what the community is split. And then I got the flip side of the coin. Now I was told that this was Battlefield propaganda.
Wow.
Battlefield propaganda. So the Call of Duty heads came out like, how dare you say something nice about Battlefield? It was like the opposite.
I feel for those fans because they don't want the war zonification of what happened of their game to what happened to Call of Duty.
And it's happening.
Call of Duty used to always be about the multiplayers. Then you added zombies. Zombies kind of split the fan base, but it didn't really split. But it watered.
But you had your zombie players who only played zombies.
Yeah. So it did kind of water it down a little bit. But Warzone was just something else. It was a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
And with Warzone being so great and so successful, you could tell that the maps were just small cut up pieces of the Warzone map for multiplayer. So it was like Warzone took precedent over the multiplayer. Right. So I understand that they don't want that to be their game. And like you mentioned, it's happening and they're chasing the dollars, man. Everybody right now, everyone wants to be the Fortnite. We on a Fortnite right now. A Fortnite formula. Before the Fortnite formula, we had the COD formula, but the COD formula got its way because everybody wanted to be Halo. So we was chasing Halo and we got COD. And before Halo, what was there like
Time Splitters?
Time Splitters, yeah, that was
and GoldenEye before that. And Perfect Dark. Yeah, it's an
So
evolution of it. Look, whether they
whatever
like it or
that,
not, EA is they got bought out by the Saudis for $50 billion,
that's a lot
and
of money.
yeah, and it turns out that 20 billion of it, I believe, is debt. So the company is going to quickly find a way to make its money back. These investors are not going to play around. They've already
Yep.
announced a partnership with AI. They are going to use AI in their next games. It's simple as that. Now they're saying they're going to use it alongside the developers. They're going to have these developers use AI to make their jobs easier. But to me, that sounds like a lot of jobs are about to get cut, and a lot of stuff is going to be run through AI. What's the number one thing that they can do in the meantime to stop the bleeding? If you were $20 billion in debt, and that's nearly half of what your company is worth, RedSec is the future of Battlefield. And they're
Yep.
still going to have the Battlefield main line, like the Call of Duty main line, which, by the way, still is selling crazy amounts of numbers, even though Warzone is free. It's not
Yeah.
like Call of Duty is still in the top 10. Last year's Call of Duty is still in the top 10. It's not like Activision is crying right now over the sales of Call of Duty because they offer free Warzone. No,
Yeah.
they're getting two bags. They're getting the Call of Duty bag over here for the campaign and the multiplayer, and then the people who get tired of that, they still go and hop on Warzone. I think if Battlefield is going to survive for Electronic Arts, they need RedSec. They need a battle royale.
The mainline game is a farm it's a money farm, so you can level up the new guns for the new season of Warzone. So that's why you have to buy the game.
I mean, look,
Work it.
you guys are the core audience who they know. There's 5 to 7 million of you Battlefield players that will always buy Battlefield. It's that
Yeah.
simple. So they're gonna get your $70 or $80, whatever they decide to charge. They're gonna get it. And
Yeah.
then there's the casual player like me, who normally wouldn't play or buy Battlefield, but I might play RedSec. I might download RedSec. Why? Because it's free.
It's free.
It's free. And what do I lose by playing the game and finding out, oh, it's actually cool or I like it? Maybe I will drop $10 to get better guns faster or the battle pass. Maybe they get $20 out of me. $20 they will never see otherwise. They would have never
Yep.
seen it because I'm not gonna pick up Battlefield 6. But I might drop $20 on RedSec. Who knows?
Yep.
I don't know. That's their future. I know that's not a popular opinion amongst Battlefield folks, but it is what it is. And I think
it's gloom and doom for y'all Battlefield folks. I'm sorry, man.
I don't know if it's gloom and doom. I think they're gonna get both versions because if you're a Call of Duty guy, you go pay your $70 and you're gonna get the multiplayer and your campaign, and that's Call of Duty for you. But me, now as I haven't purchased a Call of Duty game since World War II when you made me purchase that game. You made me buy World War II, but
it was. I liked it.
Whatever. That's neither here nor there. I regret buying that game, but that's neither here nor there. Before that, I hadn't purchased the game in a couple of years, and so, but Warzone I have played, and Warzone I do like. They wouldn't have gotten my money otherwise. And you know what? When you purchase a $70 game, I played the multiplayer in that, and it was just I still was going back to Warzone. I was still going back and forth. Like that's just me. I don't know. Maybe that's the experience I get more as a casual player, and I think more people are probably more casual players of those series than the hardcore.
Yeah.
But again, you know, and that's unpopular. That got me shredded on those videos. You know, I'm telling you, you gotta see them if you haven't watched them yet. I'll post a link at the end of this video. That'll be the two videos that pop up.
All I'm saying is insert that James Franco meme when he got the noose around his neck and with RedSec and with the Call of Duty, it just says first time. What's the James Franco meme? Yeah, first time. Yeah. That's all that is.
Battlefield Mad's upset. You gotta put Warzone or Call of Duty over Franco looking over at the Battlefield guys. First time here.
First time here.
But it's not their first time, and that's why they're really mad. Because this is multiple times that they've been hoping for Battlefield to be Battlefield 3 again. And instead of Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4 even, they got Battlefield 1. Or they got Battlefield 2042. And then they just keep getting games that aren't what they were asking for. And then when they finally get something that looks like it's gonna be what that was, it turns out that all the stuff they saw in the trailer was actually the stuff on RedSec, the destructible housing and big skyscrapers coming down, the shit that they used to be able to do on Battlefield 3 a decade
Yeah.
ago. It's like, oh, now I've got to play that version if I want to see that version of Battlefield. I would understand that as a, it's nostalgia, it's their emotions, they're tied to it, and they're let down. They're let down. That's what happens when you put. And I think that there's gonna be a lot of GTA players like that too, man. If
They
GTA
got
doesn't live
bait.
up to the hype,
They got bait and switched. They made their money.
but here's the thing: they knew it because they played the beta. They knew it was coming. There was a lot of positivity surrounding this game. It wasn't until RedSec actually came out, because when the Battlefield 6 dropped, reviews were through the roof positive.
Yeah.
And the player base is still very high. I think it's got like 200,000 people playing right
Yeah.
now, which is very, very healthy. But when RedSec came out, they were like, oh, we're the stepkids.
When, not to beat on the dead horse, but when Modern Warfare 2019 dropped, right? Everyone was like, yo, why are there doors? Why are the doors loud? Why there's no dead silence? My guy is just clunking all the way, right?
Loud.
And and the community was split. Yo, you just got to get good. And then the people started camping. And then when Warzone dropped, it was like, oh, okay. It's because they were making a battle royale. You can't have a dead silence perk in a battle royale. You got to be able to hear people coming. Oh, no wonder why there's doors. The game was designed for Warzone.
Yeah, the blueprint was made for a bigger picture. And Battlefield 6 will follow that blueprint going forward. Unpopular as they may be, that is the future of the franchise. Yeah. And if you truly, and I understand that, people have come after me saying it sold 7 million copies in a week, so it wasn't like it's a dying franchise. They're not looking at 7 million copies when Call of Duty is selling 20. They need to be more competitive. 7 million copies is not enough anymore for a game, the scale of Battlefield. These are expensive games to make. They're freaking Hollywood. They're Hollywood productions in a video game form.
That's all these games. Ain't that tower in Dubai? Didn't that cost the same amount of money as they made for GTA 6?
Yeah, dude, that's crazy, right? The world's tallest building, I think.
Yeah, the world's tallest building.
Cost the same as GTA 6. That's wild. Now this is your portion of the show that you're the expert on, because you've been putting a lot of hours on Pokemon Legends, ZA.
Oh shit! All right. Oh man.
So all right. It's got, as we know, there's a lot of Nintendo haters out there lately.
Okay.
Who are very upset, and I don't know why, because this has been what Pokemon has been doing for literally decades. But that's their point, is that it feels like a last generation game as far as visuals. It's not pushing graphics. It's not. And my rebuttal to that is, since when has Pokemon ever done that?
Never looked good, bro.
It was always behind, always.
Pokemon came out 1997, 1998 on the original Game Boy. Like, come on now. Even the sprites and the characters didn't even look good. They were way better looking Game Boy games that came out of that era.
Oh yeah.
And then the yellow edition of the game, the Pikachu edition of the game, came out on Game Boy Color, and there were still way better Game Boy games, Color at that time. So yeah, so I have ZA. I'm in the climax of beating it. Now, what I will say about the game is I like it. It's fun.
How many hours have you put into it? Do you know?
I don't know. My Switch is charging.
I'm about to find out.
Okay, find out. So my Switch is charging, but I will say that it's
not that much. Not that much. 30 hours.
Like 30? I was gonna say 23. Wow. I'm still in the climax. I ain't beat the game yet. And
you're there. That's about right.
But I will say this, right? The game it's not the mainline game.
Right. This is a spinoff, right? This is a spinoff.
It's also not a spinoff. It's a grade higher than a spinoff. So I don't know if the rumors are true, but I guess there was power change in the Pokemon company.
Yeah.
Um, one guy wanted to move forward and make the Legends ZA, the Legends games, right? They wanted to be more open world, and you have your Pokemon out.
Right.
And the other guy who was in power was like, the formula is turn based. Don't fix what ain't broke.
Right.
And Pokemon has seasons. When it comes to the championship competitive rules, right? So when it comes to the competitive rules, the reason why I say this is above a spinoff game is because technically this Pokemon ZA game is the first game of Generation 10.
Mm.
And next year,
We're gonna get the
the
true Gen 10.
the true Gen 10. But any Pokemon that you bring over into Pokemon ZA can't go back. It can only go forward once the new game comes out. And this is Gen 10. Um, but gameplay wise, it's cool. I mean, there's no voice acting. They could add voice acting, I say that, but there's no voice acting. The story is cool. You get to run around with your Pokemon as a trainer. There's no turn-based battles. You run around, you have them select a move, and you have them fight. You get in a wild battle, the Pokemon to try to kill you. So that's why you got to take your Pokemon out so they could fight them for you and distract
Mm.
them.
So your character has like a health bar.
Yeah, he doesn't have a health bar, but he gets the Call of Duty effect. Screen gets red and blurry, and then you get hit
Yeah,
again.
you're
You'll
getting
crash
hit.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay. The Call of
and,
Duty effect is perfect.
um, they, in my opinion, they did well because the whole game takes place in one city, and when you look at the map, you say the map isn't that big, and it's not. But what they did to the map, they added layers of depth. You got Pokemon on the roofs, Pokemon in the parks. Then you got like a sewer area where there's Pokemon in. So they added depths, and surprisingly, it worked. And there's also rumors. I guess they got in a leak from the Pokemon data leak that they're gonna make a Pokemon MMO, and it's gonna be tied.
Holy shit.
This is
That's
like
gonna be, yeah, that leak
the
was
building
crazy, by
block.
the way. That was something that happened while you were gone too. That
Yeah,
leak.
this is gonna be the like this is like the
A
first phase
Pokemon
of the
MMO
building.
is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope,
It
bro.
doesn't even have to be that crazy. Like they could take like a 10-year-old concept like World of Warcraft that's been around for 20 years and just make that Pokemon mixed with like Pokemon Go somehow, and it's gonna be ridiculously popular.
The league
Ridiculously.
is they taking like 3 regions from the Pokemon games
It's
and
gonna be
making it
crazy.
into one big map, where you can travel to those 3 different generation of games in that one area, like it's all Japan basically. And yeah, they're gonna go ham, and it's gonna sell. I don't know if it's gonna be free, but then you got the Battle Stadium game
Even if
that's
it's
gonna
not
be
free, that's
free.
gonna sell like fucking crazy. Why would they? The only yo, if they turned it into, oh my god, listen, let's not give them any
You sound
ideas.
disgusted. You sound disgusted. How much money
Because
they gonna make?
yes, I'll tell you why it's disgusting. Do you know that World of Warcraft, for example, you buy the games and you pay a monthly subscription to play those games. So Pokemon is so massive that I don't think they're gonna do this,
You
but they
can't
are.
get it.
But they are the only company that could probably charge $10 per month separate from Nintendo Online service to play online.
To play the MMO. I could
To play
maybe,
online. I could see them charging a subscription service and people will pay for it.
yeah,
$10
I
a month to play Pokemon MMO.
maybe. Um, I guess the struggle between the power shift was,
They're not gonna do
uh,
that, but they
we
could.
need to get more. We need to get more core people into Pokemon. It was like, yo, the main game is turn based. That's how you get. more people in, casual players into Pokemon. They
It's
see the
very yeah,
TV
it's very
show,
simple. Yeah,
they
it's a
say, yeah,
simple concept.
it's already that. And then I guess ZA, the split for ZA is supposed to be for the core, the hardcore fans, like we grown up. So
Well,
shifting ideologies. But I think the
I'll
game
tell you.
is,
I'll tell you what. Whoever, if this power struggle was true, whoever designed this game turned out to be correct because this was 16 days ago, which was when the game launched. The first 5 days of Pokemon ZA being on sale, it sold 5.8 million units.
wow.
So that was in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And more than half of those were on Switch 2. So
Yep.
it's also a system seller right before the holidays.
Yep.
Um
And they got a ZA Switch package bundle.
anything you can slap a Pokemon sticker on is money. It prints money. It prints money. It's like Mario. Like, it could be the worst Super Mario Party game and it's still gonna sell 10 million copies.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Mario Party. And they brought out I think two or three of them for the Switch. My
Yeah.
sister bought all of them.
I'm thinking about getting one for me and Alex.
My sister bought all of them, and then she bought the upgrade pack for the Switch too. An extra $10 so she could play mini games with the camera.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I give the game an 85, man. ZA, I give it an 85, man. It's solid.
That's
I
pretty
have no
good.
complaints. It's fun. It makes battling fun. Now, I will say this. I will say this. Playing a mainline game, sometimes battling feels like it's a chore, but you got to level up. So you be like, damn, I don't want to fight this guy. Let me just go straight to the gym and just knock the
Right.
gym out. But in this game, it's like it's cool to fight. It's cool to battle now. It's you don't be like, oh god damn, I gotta fight these 5 trainers before I fight the gym. You're like, oh no, I'm about to wipe these niggas out and go to the next one and wipe him out. And then so yeah, it's solid. I recommend.
All right. Pokemon ZA is a hit, not just with sales, but with longtime Pokemon fans. I mean, look, I was never a big Pokemon guy. The first Pokemon game I picked up, I think, was what was it,
Emerald.
Emerald, and that was when I met you, and you were like,
Yeah.
just give it a chance, just give it a chance. And I went out, and it was Ruby
You might,
Sapphire at the time, and Emerald had just come out, and I said, well, might as well pick up Emerald because it's like the combination of the
yeah,
other two or the follow up, and because I had at that time I hadn't played a turn-based strategy game in years, bro. I'm talking about Super Nintendo. So
yeah,
I mean, I skipped all the Final Fantasies, all of that stuff. So when I played Emerald, I felt like this gameplay was refreshing almost. It was brand new
yeah.
to me again, and it was fun. It was like a really, really good game. And then Black and White came out, and I bought it on the DS, thinking, "Here we go again," and it was exactly the same to me.
It's same formula, same formula.
And I was like, "Oh, I played this already. There's no
Yeah,
differences." And that's when I stopped playing them. I don't think I picked up another one ever since, but
but
maybe I should.
if you
Oh, that's
haven't,
not. I picked up a couple of GameCube ones, like Shadows, or it was something like that. It was dark
yeah.
something. I don't remember.
But
Coliseum.
if you haven't played one, or anybody who hasn't played a mainline game in a while, and if you were curious, I would say it'd be a cool grab, and it'd be a cool way to play, and you might get hooked like me, and then be waiting for next year for the mainline to come out.
Pardon me. Yeah, maybe it's a good idea to come up with every other year or every other 2 years a different style of those games. I mean, they do that. They do have a ton of spin-offs, Pokemon spin-offs. But yeah, I don't know. ZA, even though it's technically you said like a mid tier mid spin-off kind of a thing,
Yeah, it's
it's
like
selling like a mainline game.
yeah, it's weird because it's not the mainline game, but it is like for competitive, like all these new evolutions that they have in the game, you won't be able to use them until next year's game. So it's like it's like a paywall on top of that, you know? So it's like if you want to compete in the championship next year, well, I can't say that every Pokemon in the ZA game is going to be great, but it might just be one that's meta that you're going to need and that you're going to want to use and that you're going to want to have. And the only way to get them is by playing that game and by owning it. So corporations, man, they're not
What's
our
your
friend.
no, not at all. Speaking of Pokemon, Nintendo took a very rare L in the courts recently, in Japan. So Nintendo here in America was granted a patent for their Pokemon catching, releasing with the Pokeball, and riding on certain animals
Mouth.
to battle. Yeah, and they were granted an actual patent for that, which really shocked a lot of people. Which really was a direct response to Pal World, right? Because Pal
Yeah.
World was quite clearly Pokemon with guns. They're inspired by the same design, even though Pokemon has a lot of inspiration from Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
But they couldn't go after the designs because Nintendo knows better. They knew they were going to lose that battle. So instead, they went after a patent. Well, Pal World is fighting the case in Japan, and Nintendo brought forward the patent, saying, "Well, we own this U.S. patent on this style of gameplay." And Japan was like, "You can't do that shit. What the hell are you talking about? Riding on animals and fighting? You can't patent that."
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so Japan, a rare W for Japan, a rare L for
Yeah.
Nintendo losing an actual court case, which
Yeah.
is good for games in general. That less game mechanics should be allowed to be patented.
Yeah. Imagine
Story
going to
ideas, character designs, I'm all for that. But imagine patenting, like you're the Activision, you're like, we're gonna patent shooting guns in a game, and nobody else can do it.
Yeah, imagine going to court and I say, "Nah, I own the patent on fire." What are
No
you
more
doing?
fire in games.
It's stupid.
Yeah, imagine it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And Nintendo very rarely loses in court. So, to lose in the home turf, it really what that does now, it calls in question the U.S. Patent Office. So now they're probably gonna have to review that patent
Yeah,
because that means that now the developer can literally make a game in Japan and just release it. And
yeah,
what are you not going to release it in the US? I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm not a lawyer, but yeah, that patent seems like it's not going to hold up well for them. And then lastly, Nintendo commented on their $500 Switch 2 unit, and if it's going to go up to 500, because right now it sits at 450 without Mario Kart World bundled in it. And they asked them about that, like, what's going on with that? Are you being affected by tariffs? What's the price hikes? And Nintendo said, no, we don't have any foreseeable plans to raise the price on the Switch 2. It's we know what the circumstances are worldwide. We're mass producing them to the point where we feel it's sustainable at this rate. They've also announced that they upped their forecast from 15 million Switch 2 units sold for the fiscal year up to 18 million. It's already the fastest selling launch system in the history of gaming. Surpasses PS2, PS4, Switch. And turns out the price hikes that Xbox did was an internal memo that was sent out by Microsoft and nothing to do with the tariffs. So Microsoft as a company sent out a company-wide memo, and this includes all their divisions, software and hardware, that they wanted to see a profit margin of 30% on all their products. 30% profit margins. Xbox was a very profitable business, sitting at around 7 to 8% profits, which is healthy.
Yeah.
This new memo was like, that's not enough. So bam, there goes the price hike on the consoles. There goes your price hike on accessories and on Xbox Game Pass, because Satya Nadella said, this is what's happening. We're gonna boost our shareholders. It doesn't matter if you're Xbox or Windows or whatever.
Yeah.
And Sony looks like probably saw that playbook and said, well, then shit, we're gonna make profit on our old systems too. Now, nothing's leaked out of Sony, but it seems like it falls in line with we're not going to fall behind and not make money.
Yeah.
Especially when we're the number one selling alternative to the Xbox, right? If you don't count, like, obviously Nintendo, which is in its own kind of
Yeah.
pocket. But yeah, an internal memo of a 30% profit. And the crazy part is they released their their quarterly fiscal whatever.
Quarterly report, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Quarterly report, Xbox sales went down and profits went up. They sold less systems and made more money.
Yeah.
They think it's like what you've been saying it all the time. They're not here for us. They're definitely here for the shareholders.
They here to make money, man. The corporations are not our friends, man. I gotta stop. I was gonna say something else, but you said it was all across Microsoft. So if it wasn't just all across Microsoft, I would have been saying, yeah, man. My thoughts were Xbox. Microsoft don't like Xbox console owners right now. They want y'all off the tip and they want y'all on the PC.
Oh, but absolutely. No, that's not wrong. And which was going to lead me to the next and final segment that you. So the next Xbox console we know has been announced in partnership with AMD, and there's been a few interviews with Sarah Bond, who said, "Look at the Xbox ROG Ally X as the blueprint to what the next system is going to be," and then she said it's going to be a premium experience, a premium console that pretty much merges your experiences. And then later on, Satya Nadella, I have these videos are all up on the channel, guys, if you want to go take a look, for the dozen of you or so that watch my videos. That the next system is going to be blending what it is to be, again, and he's been saying this for 2 years now, but he's blending what it means to be an Xbox fan, that everything is going to be an Xbox. But also he compared Xbox consoles to what basically streamlined affordable PCs is what he was comparing it to. And he said the consoles delivered this experience that PCs can't because it's streamlined, and he wants to somehow blend that. You partner what he just said with what Sarah Bond says, and you're looking at basically a PC hybrid system. It's going to be basically like a less expensive PC built for your console with and this is just me being as basic as possible in description, with Xbox 360 blades, over it. You hit the Xbox button and you get the Xbox experience, Play Store, all that stuff in the front, on the front end, and then you can exit out of that and maybe go onto the Steam shop or the whatever, the PlayStation shop or whatever other, because it's a PC as well.
Yeah.
Which means this thing's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be cheap. Now, let's say it costs $1,000 to $1,200. Let's be generous, and let's say that it's going to be $1,000 to $1,200. Now, mind you, the Xbox ROG Ally X costs $1,000.
I don't see nobody crying at the price of the Xbox ROG Ally like how they cried about the price of the PS5 Pro.
And I think it's because it's different audiences.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah. And I think you're looking at a very niche audience that wants PC handhelds versus like a mainline console that is meant for little Billy at Christmas. That's where I think Xbox is going to, this is not going to go over well with a lot of Xbox fans if you're looking for a valuable console experience, right? Where you get more bang for your buck. The beautiful thing about a console that is made to plug and play and you're ready to go, no setups, nothing crazy needed, which is fine if you're going to buy this thing and you're going to only play Xbox games from the Xbox store. But if it's $1,000, it's no longer affordable to just little Billy for Christmas.
It's right? Premium.
Right. So I think Microsoft is trying to position themselves, and this is going to sound crazy to compare them to Apple, but they're going to be like the Apple of video game companies. Meaning, and Nintendo very much did this playbook back with the Wii, by the way. Meaning, they're no longer going to compete head to head with Sony. They know they lost that war. They're no longer going to compete with Nintendo because Nintendo's off doing it a completely different playbook that they know in reality they can't compete with either. Nintendo's got its own thing. Sony's the only hard-headed one that thinks we still can do handhelds. We're gonna try that again. Sony's still the only one that said we fuck Nintendo. We're gonna try that. But Sony's not gonna be like the Android of video game systems. They're gonna be the one that the majority of people buy. It's gonna be the default, right? But for the premium experience, the ecosystem, they know they've got their 20 million Xbox fanboys who are probably gonna drop. If 20 million people drop $1,000 on this console PC handheld. Now this PC hybrid. And that's the audience they're going for. They're going for a premium experience. It's not for everybody. They're gonna carve their own niche. And they're gonna be we're the luxury video game. We're the luxury video game console.
That's what they're gonna try to do. That's what they're gonna try.
That's what they're gonna try.
Like, listen, me personally, right? If I want a handheld that plays games that's fun, I'm gonna get a Switch. Now, if you're telling me that there's gonna be a more adult handheld game that I could play Call of Duty on, right? So now I'm thinking, all right, Steam Deck. Then you got the Xbox
Legion, Ally, or the Legion Go.
Oh yeah, for $1,000, right? And now I would still wait to see what Sony would put out, and that's just me because I know what I'm getting with Sony. Now, if Sony puts something out that is comparable, when I say comparable, I want to say more comparable to a Switch that is beefier, that gets those first party games, that is solid, a solid OS, and how you cut it on, you put the game in, and it just plays, and it's not a problem. I would still wait out for that Sony if Sony goes that route.
What's the price point that you would cut that off at?
I don't know, man. Sony's greedy, bro. Sony could well say that they want Xbox want to be premium. Well, we'll be super premium for our customers. Like,
I don't know. I don't know. They'll break $1,000. They're not going to do Xbox ROG LIX. But if
they make a console that's beefier than the Switch, that is comparable to the Switch,
Switch 2,
to the Switch 2, then if they said 8, I'd be like, damn.
No, that's too much.
I'd be like, damn.
I mean, I'm a budget gamer, but that's a lot of money for a handheld. I'm not paying over $5. It has to be a hybrid system. I have to be able to plug this thing into my TV.
So too. Yeah, if it's a hybrid, man. So,
like if the Switch 2 was like the Switch Lite, which doesn't plug into my TV, and Nintendo was like $500, I wasn't gonna get it. I would wait it out. It plugs into my TV. Now, here's the thing. So Sony has announced that their next generation is going to be AI driven as far as graphics. It's going to be low power, low wattage, and it's going to be AI driven, which means we're going to get a very similar experience. I'm sorry?
So they're taking a play out of Nintendo.
Absolutely. With a beefier graphics card. So let's say so we know that like the PS5 Pro, for example, is a stronger device than the Switch 2.
Yeah.
If they take a PS5 Pro, its power, right? And they put AI behind that, you can get significantly better results.
Yeah.
Than anything that even PS5 Pro can currently do. You can get pretty comparable results to like a higher end PC or a mid to high end PC graphics card, which is good. And that means you can keep prices relatively stable, relatively low. So their next system could technically come out for $650, $700. which is what a PS5 Pro goes for, right? 740.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, now. So in a couple of years, 740 for a brand new PlayStation 6, that's not terrible. That's doable for a high-end system.
And you know what you're getting.
Yeah, and you know you're getting Sony stuff. I'm not, by the way, I'm not discounting PlayStation is going to be the power player next generation. It's going to be them and Nintendo. And they're on completely different wavelengths. Xbox is now going to be, they're doing the right thing for the company. Honestly, they're doing the right thing for the company. They can't compete head to head anymore. They've lost ever since Xbox 360. They came in they squeaked out almost a second place victory, and they still managed a third place victory at the end of the generation. The PlayStation 3 came in second. The Wii destroyed everybody that generation. And then they fumbled the bag with the Xbox One, and that was the beginning of the end of Xbox.
You know what the beginning of the end was? It was the Kinect.
Oh yeah, well, Xbox One.
The Kinect, the 360. The Kinect sold. The Kinect sold.
But it wasn't forced on you.
It sold what they sold, 14 million, 30 million Kinects.
That was a lot of Kinects.
So they sold a lot of Kinects, and then
a lot of Kinects.
They
forced you the next generation to have it.
They shifted their focus on the make games for the Kinect.
I got a video coming out about that generation. I'm gonna make a cool video. Please. Yeah, and it's not just about Xbox One. It's gonna encompass the Wii U as well. The Wii U and Xbox One both had the same strategy, and it was terrible. And the Wii U and the Xbox One both wanted to be everything except a video game system. Yep. Xbox One was about, we're this home entertainment device where you can watch DVR and TV and all this shit. And people forget that the Wii U had all these apps. It literally had a Nintendo TV app. So you could put the tablet in front of the TV and watch like a football game. And on the football game, it would ask you trivia questions on the tablet to kind of merge the Wii U onto television. Yep. It was trying to do other stuff besides, hey, we play games. Anyway, that's a video that's coming out. I've been thinking about that lately, and I'm going to work on that. But you're right. The Kinect being forced on you during the Xbox One generation was a huge blunder. Also, they tried, there was a bunch of stuff. The DRM, you got to always be connected online. It was a bunch of stuff. But so with all of those mistakes came, and that's when we switched sides, really. I mean, towards the end of the Xbox 360 PS3 generation, we had already kind of shifted over to the PlayStation ecosystem, but they know they can't compete in this space anymore. It's just not there for them. It's just not there for them. So they know they have a dedicated hardware base to a dedicated Xbox crowd. They are diehards. And at this point, they have defended the undefendable. I have seen all the Twitter posts and everything that they changed their stance on. The Xbox fanboys have changed with them. You'd think they'd rebel and be like, oh, I can't believe they lied to me.
They're so pacified.
It's a cult.
It's a cult. All hail Phil Spencer.
It's a cult.
Wait till E3. Wait till Phil talks.
I was part of that cult. I was part of that cult in the Wii U generation. I was part of that cult. Nintendo could do nothing wrong during its worst generation.
Yep. That was one of my comments on one of your videos. Wait till Phil Spencer says something about this. We gotta wait till E3. And then what happened?
I feel so bad for that man.
The year Gears 3, the year that they announced Gears of War 3, right? They were closing the show, and you thought the one more thing was gonna be, nope, they glazed over Gears of War 3, and they said, oh, we got our one last thing is this new Disney game for Kinect that you're gonna love. And so they paid the rights for Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Goofy. They paid for rights for all of the niggas. And they lost their focus. They was focused on the Kinect.
Do you remember what Nintendo's one last thing was?
What was it?
Amiibos.
Yeah.
And God bless Nintendo, they are still around.
Not a game.
They are still around. Street Fighter 6 is coming out with Amiibos, or came out with Amiibos for the Switch 2.
Yeah, because it's like,
and they're by the way, they're not cheap anymore. They're $20 a pop.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. I never bought one, but
I bought a bunch of them. I
but
told you I was part of the cult.
yeah, yo. Yeah, so the Xbox guys, man, I feel for y'all because
So now, as a PC hybrid gamer, I'm gonna call myself that because I still play most of my games on the Switch too, but on the games that I want that are basically console quality. And when I say console quality, not the Switch 2 is changed my perception of what console quality means, because the Switch 1 to me always felt like a handheld that I can plug to my TV. And I always felt like that's the experience that I was expecting from it. I was never expecting super HD quality games when I plugged this thing up to my projector. I knew I was going to get a 720p game at best, 30 frames per second. And I was okay with that. And there was a lot of fun to be had with those games. But I didn't expect it to be AAA whatever, even though there was besides the point. But
yeah,
with games like Red Dead Redemption 2 that never made it over, like you had Red Dead Redemption 1, which was a 360 game that made it on Switch. Yeah. There was a lot of impossible ports like Wolfenstein. But games like Red Dead 2, Splitgate 2, Helldivers, those games I play on my PC. And I've got still, thanks to James, even though, you know, the PC card, you remember when I put my PC together. Basically to edit videos, but it was still enough to play games at 1080p and get like 100 frames per second. And that's still what the target line is for that old card, which is, it's more than adequate. The one I have now gets me 1440p, and I can again get 100 to 120 frames per second, which is more than my Switch 2 can do in a lot of cases. So for my higher end experience, I still play my games on my PC. Now, I paid a total of around $700 to put my thing together. And I did get a secondhand graphics card.
Yeah.
And I get good performance. I get really nice looking games. Like I get ultra high definition games. It's not 4K. If I do 4K, I get less than like. I'm sorry?
What would your PC value be if you add the cost of that graphics card?
That James gave me?
Yeah.
Around $800 to $900. It's more than what I originally put it together for. So mine's was $650 to $700 when I put it together. Obviously, inflation and all that stuff. Like if you were still to go out and get like a 5600 XT, it's still a $200 graphics card. The one that James gave me, I went like, and this is not a dig at the card because it's an upgrade. But I went from like a C plus to like a B minus.
Okay.
In what graphics cards are today. But I still have a graphics card that literally for the next 10 years, if I don't upgrade it, I can play a AAA game at 1080p instead of, you know, because in 10 years everything's going to be 4K. But I can pull it back to low settings and play it at 1080 60 frames instead of 4K 120.
Yeah.
And I can still use this graphics card.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. Now, that's my budget for a console. I will not pay above that. Because if the next Xbox is $1,000 or $1,200, it's gotta outperform this.
Yeah.
It can't come in and say, oh, it's gonna be $1,000 to $1,200, and my $800 PC matches it. It can't match it. I don't want to hear it does 4K 60. Well, fuck you. Mine does too, and it does it at a fraction of the price, at 3/4 of the price.
Yeah.
I can do 4K 60. I get greedy and I try to push it up to 100 frames per second and it takes a dip.
Yeah.
I can't. So Xbox. If you're going to put a $1,000 to $1,200 system out there, understand that you got to dig in deep now. And it's a new market. And it's going to take you 5 to 10 years, like Nintendo did with the Wii and Wii U, where it completely abandoned competing with the other people, with Sony and Microsoft. And I'm going to yes, we're still making video games. Yes, we're still making hardware. But it's just, if you want the premium experience for Xbox games, this is where it's going to run the best on Xbox. And the PlayStation version and the Nintendo version will be out day in, day out, day one, but it'll probably run at lesser specs. And honestly, the casual player, I don't think they're going to give much of a damn about that.
Yeah.
Most people aren't really going to care. But those Xbox diehards, they're going to be, that's what they're going to have to, that's what they're going to give them to look. It's better.
We still care.
It's better than yours. Remember when Super
Yeah.
Nintendo and Sega Genesis was like, this one has more colors.
Yeah.
And that's what you told your buddies. Oh yeah, and then the Nintendo cats will be like, well, mine sounds better. It's got CD quality. That's what they're gonna give us.
12 teraflops.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. $1,200 is out of my price range, but if it's a real mini PC, and because the rumor is it will run Windows, and it will run other applications like Office.
Yeah.
If it's a true mini PC with an Xbox branding and Xbox layout over it, we'll see how it runs and what it truly can do. Maybe.
My advice,
it's not a guarantee. It's a maybe.
My advice to Xbox is, if you're not,
no, be real. Don't be a fanboy. Yeah. Give something like, real. Let's say you own a lot of Xbox stock.
I'm being real. Let's say I could give you that answer too. That answer comes second.
Yeah, but, okay. That'd be fun.
So my advice to Xbox, if you're gonna make a premium PC hybrid console, I would, you could do that, but you should also focus and start planning for the day that Steam doesn't need Microsoft to run.
And they already don't. The Steam Deck runs Steam OS, and that's Linux based. Dum dum dum. Let's not forget about the upcoming Steam machine that people have been quietly forgetting about. There is a Steam rumored console coming out, and they are perfectly in place to cement themselves as that secondary system. That system that is happy to be in third place and say, hey, which one do you own? Do you own a PlayStation and a Switch? Or do you own a PlayStation and a Steam? Or do you own, you know what I mean? Steam does not have to be a top selling console to be. They're a very small company to be very profitable and take Xbox's spot as that number 3 system.
Yep. So what I'm saying is,
they're not far. They don't need Microsoft anymore. They got Steam OS.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if PC gamers could play their games without using Windows, just plan for that rainy day. I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but that's with the Steam machine.
Of course,
there's going to be a rainy day where Steam doesn't need Microsoft.
Yeah, and Sony as well.
Yeah.
So the biggest platform, okay, and that's what Satya Nadella was saying, and they're right. He said he said this very cocky, but when I heard it and I looked it up, it's 100% true. He said people forget the biggest gaming platform on the planet is Windows.
Yeah,
and that's 1,000% correct.
Yep,
1,000%. So Xbox, I'm torn because I'm trying to view it from, and this is I'm going to get your secondary answer. I'm trying to view it more from a shareholder's perspective, or not even a shareholder, but like an internal developer, right? When you lose at something, right, and you're trying to be number 1 and you don't want competition anymore, and they did this with the Zune and the iPod. When the Zune was a very successful MP3 player, but they couldn't compete with Apple, Microsoft just pulled it off the shelf and they said, we're not going to do it anymore because we're not number 1, regardless that the Zune was a popular selling MP3 player.
Yeah.
And with the Xbox, I hope they don't pull it off the shelf, because I still think that competition is healthy. We need competition so that Nintendo and Sony and Xbox, all of them start innovating and creating new ways that we can get behind video games, and we get better experiences overall as gamers. Like the only reason that Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotei and Super Mario Odyssey exist is because they had to be like better than whatever the other company was doing. You just have to be. I'm not against them going premium. I'm not against them going the Apple route. They lose me. I mean, they've lost me as a customer already, so they're not going to get me back. But I can understand, for example, my cousin Jason, shout out, will probably go without eating for a month so that he can get that premium Xbox.
Wow. Wow.
He would lose 25 pounds in body weight. His BMI would be through the freaking floor because he knows that come November of 2028 that Xbox PC is coming out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys like him.
All right. So, as a shareholder or someone who has interest in Microsoft and Xbox, my answer is still going to be similar. It's going to be, listen, you got the Steam machine coming. We know right now that we have access to a bunch of PC game players because they all need Windows to play their game. So let's try to get the ball rolling, or get the ball rolling, or keep the iron, strike while the iron's hot in a way. But like, let's try to keep what we got right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, for that rainy day, because I don't know when. It's gonna be a platform war, bro. It's gonna be not console war. It's gonna be a platform war. It's coming. So I hope they're preparing for that.
I think they're going to be the first ones, and because I think they're the first ones that are going to, and they are viewing. They no longer view Xbox as a console.
Yeah.
They definitely view it as what you just said, and it's a platform now. It is an ecosystem, and Game Pass proves that. They're not viewing it. Xbox is a brand. It's not a system anymore. Xbox used to be a system. It's not. Yeah. It's a brand. Hell, Sega was the same, right? Sega used to mean a Genesis. It used to mean a Master System, a 32X, a Dreamcast. Yeah. Sega now means a Sonic game, a Virtua Fighter game. It's a company. It's no longer. It's a brand. Xbox is definitely creating a platform. I am not for or against this future. They are forward thinking in that regard. Sony and Nintendo's going to be the last one. They're going to be the last one making a freaking, like, a thing that you put under your TV. They're going to be the last.
Yeah.
They're going to be the last one that sell you the thing that you put under your TV. Sony's also a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate filmmaker, PC, cameras, cell phones.
They make hard.
They make everything. They are also in the business of how do we get out of the what's expensive and still sell them the thing. PlayStation will eventually be a platform as well. Eventually. It's going to be the PlayStation platform, the Xbox platform, and maybe they find a way to do exclusives where you can only play it using the browser or whatever. And that's probably a decade or 15 years from now. Xbox is probably going to be the first one to cement that. The first people to try it and failed was Google, and Amazon's still holding on. Amazon's still holding on to their video game company. Man, this camera going in and out of focus is killing me. I gotta figure that out for the next podcast. But anyway, I got a new camera. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh yeah. No more Piranha Plant.
It wasn't the Piranha Plant. It was this thing. But yeah, this is technically 1080p. I don't know what freaking planet. Yeah,
your GoPro.
All right, I still have my GoPro, but OBS doesn't play with it. This thing, I got to figure out for it to stop doing this autofocus thing that it's doing. I don't know if it's the mic or what it is, but I got to figure that out. Or maybe it's the lights in the background. I don't know. But anyway, I do feel that Microsoft is the first ones that are going to, let me turn those lights off, that are going to platform their console business. Eventually, Microsoft doesn't like making too much hardware. They had their Surface, the Surface Pro. That's hardware. And successful hardware, and in fact, it took a huge chunk out of the iPad market, especially now that Apple is making $1,000 iPads.
It's stupid.
$1,000 iPads, Chris.
It's crazy, yo. Apple went. Yo, these companies don't. They just care about dollars, man. That's all they care about.
$1,000 iPads, a tablet, bro.
That's. They just care about dollars. But I will say, I went to an office. I used to work in an office that used Mac, and I will say, from using the Magic Mouse, the Magic Keyboard, and using all that Mac shit, and then sending shit to my iPad, like work related shit, and bringing things back and forth, it was pretty easy and convenient. It just felt like a big iPhone that I was using.
You are 100. Look. The Apple
Now,
ecosystem is made
still,
perfectly for those Apple fans.
yeah, but I still can't justify spending that much money for it. Even though I seen firsthand and I used it and how great it was and
Yes.
how seamless everything is, it was great. But I still be like, no, man, $1,000 for an iPad.
So I have learned like the Windows version of like Apple's Premiere's software for like video editing and things like that, right? And then I go like I have a good friend, he makes like independent films. By the way, shout out to New Age Entertainment. Go watch out his new indie film called Broke In. Post a trailer link somewhere down here. He makes like indie films and they're pretty good. So he went all in on the Apple side of things. Like he used to be like a PC guy. I think he went all in on the Apple side. Correct me if I'm wrong, Manny. But I've seen the Apple software and it all works together. You can jump from iPad into a MacBook Pro, and even have like a Apple iPhone version of the app that you can download, and it's pretty seamless when you go across the board.
It's all the same.
It's pretty seamless. So like once you're in that ecosystem, I got out of the Apple ecosystem pretty early on. I bought like an iPod video back in the day, and then I bought iPhone 3 before it was 3G even, and then I bought an iPhone 3G, and then that was it. And then when the iPhone 4 came out, I was back on Android.
Yeah.
So I get it when I go on here and I get like the Windows version of video editing software versus what the Apple people are playing with. It's a learning curve on my side because it's open software or things like that. I'm also not paying for software. I'm getting open source stuff. But is it worth the tech specs of a MacBook Pro? Tech specs are laughable for the price versus a PC. Laughable. You can get 2 PCs for the price of a MacBook Pro with the same with similar tech specs, not the same. Similar experiences. You just have to be willing to have a learning curve. Yeah. Some people are willing to pay that premium for that advantage of not having to learn anything extra. Is the Xbox Premium Pro, whatever the hell they're going to call it, is it worth that price? To you and me, maybe not.
When little Timmy opens up his Xbox PC hybrid console under the Christmas tree, and he cuts it on, and it says Windows, and then it says Xbox, and then it says ROG Ally, and then he wants to play the game, and then he has to go into ROG Ally settings and to download to rogally.com to download shaders.
You're wrong. So, okay, yes, if it was that complicated, then that'd be a problem. But that's a standard PC. That's a standard PC. Yeah. But here's the thing. So let's say they get an $800 PC They're gonna charge $1,200 for it because that's the premium, right? And the $400 upcharge is that it's easy to use. There's no settings to mess with. It's got that Xbox platform. It cuts on, and it's just Xbox right off the rip. It's got that stuff in the background if you do want it for Steam and Windows games. But that's added features. For the most part, if you cut it on, it's an Xbox. You go to the Xbox store. If you download games off the Xbox store, it just plays the games normal. You don't have to worry about settings, none of that extra stuff. It's the ecosystem.
And yourself short. Then you shorten yourself.
You're not. You're paying for that Apple Premium, and people are happy to pay for that. And people are that's exactly what Apple does. They are happy to pay Apple for the experience of when I download my stupid thing on the Xbox rather I got X is the same as when I turn on my stupid $1,200 Xbox. So it's the same.
So they're paying $1,200 for a jailbroken Xbox.
They're paying $1,200 for a hybrid system that does PC stuff. They're paying basically like, oh, I got a MacBook Pro and I got an iPad and the latest iPhone. Oh, how much that cost you total? Around $7,000. And Apple fans will die on that hill.
I get how seamless it is with Apple, so I can understand.
They will die on that hill.
I personally won't do it.
Oh yeah, me neither.
But good luck, Xbox, PlayStation, Sony. If you make a handheld,
they are making a handheld, by the way.
Don't I see what they did with the Portal. You can now stream your catalog games,
gaming,
and someone can be on your PlayStation under a different profile. You can still log
finally
and play your game. Like all that is cool.
It's cool, but that just screams, "Please buy the Portal."
Yeah, and so if the follow up to that Portal is the same thing, right? The same features that you get now with the Portal now, but now you can natively play the game.
Listen, I'd be happy with the PlayStation Portal form factor. Looks cool. It's basically a Switch 2 with cooler handles. It looks cool. It doesn't, to me, just having to be tethered to Wi-Fi doesn't justify the price. But
yeah, if it doesn't have to be tethered.
Yeah, you're tethered. If it doesn't have to be tethered, you can at least download, even if it's all digital. Give it something like a terabyte worth of data. And I'm not saying this is ideal, but it's better than what they got now. PS5 quality, 1080p, 60 frames. You don't even got to go with what Switch 2 with Switch 2 on its highest settings handheld does 1080p 120.
Yeah.
I don't need 120, but it'd be cool if you include that.
They're gonna use the AI to do all that.
Yeah, give it to us. And if Nintendo can do it, and God knows Nintendo is not the latest, greatest. Yeah. They do have a patent on that shit. They do have a patent on that upscaling shit. So they would have to come up with like their own version of that.
Sony will go to the same company that
and make their own version of that. Yeah, they have to have their own version of that. But
like the controllers,
it's got to be the same price as the Switch 2. It's got to give me. It can't be anything less than a Switch 2, which is basically early PS5, late PS4 Pro. We're in that ballpark as far as quality games and graphics.
Yeah.
And I've been really happy with what I've gotten out of my Switch 2, as far as graphics and all that. Like I played that on my monitor. It looks freaking great. Sony can't do anything less than that. And the price. And I know they're not going to charge us $500 for the damn thing, but it's got to be around that price point for a handheld. It can't be more than that. The Switch 2 is $450 without a game. It's $500 with Mario Kart World, which is Nintendo's like biggest franchise. Anything above $500 without a game is It's begging to be the PSP and the PS Vita again. It's begging to lose because I'll be goddamned if Nintendo isn't the freaking king of handhelds.
Yeah,
They can't be touched.
Nintendo is king, but if Sony, if they want to sell systems and they want to sell handhelds,
Their consoles are untouchable. Sony's console game has always been strong. Even when the PS3 lost to the Wii, lost, and I put that in quotes because they were playing different games. They still managed to sell like 100 million PlayStation 3s.
Yeah.
That's nothing to like sneeze at, you know what I mean? That's a lot of consoles.
If anyone's gonna make a premium hybrid console handheld, I would hope Sony could do it.
There's no such thing. That's my thing. It's my premium handheld console is the Switch 2. I don't think Sony can do it. I don't think PC handhelds are the thing. Steam Deck came the closest, and they've sold a whopping 3 million units. And that's
success.
Huh?
Which is a success for them, right?
Oh yeah, big for them. They're very happy with those numbers, and it's because Steam as a company is a very small company.
Yeah,
and they don't make hardware.
So,
and look, and the PC handheld market as a whole sold like 5 million units, and 3 million of them are Steam Decks.
Yeah,
and that's Legion Go, that's ROG, that's everybody, that's Asus, that's everybody.
Yeah. I think, man, it's we gotta see what I'm gonna wait to see what Sony decides.
Sony's bringing out a handheld, and Xbox still bringing out their handheld, So, but I think it's gonna be it's a crowded market. I think everybody's going for the same market in the PC and the handheld. I'm gonna say the handheld side of things, and I think Nintendo has that cornered.
Yeah, but Nintendo has it cornered, but they have it cornered with their own. It depends what third party is.
Who are you going to go? Nintendo's already off to a blazing start.
Yeah,
they're gonna have by March. They're gonna have almost 20 million Switch 2s out there.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, listen, if Nintendo is getting if Nintendo was getting the next Call of Duty, and
they are by the way, they are,
and it looked very comparable.
Not this year, next year.
Yeah, next year. If it was getting the next year's Call of Duty and it was side by side and it looked just as good
or similar or good enough. So I'm going to say Cyberpunk, for example. Cyberpunk runs better on PC, obviously. Runs better. But when you compare them side by side, it's comparable.
Did they do like side by side to the PS5 and the Xbox?
Yeah. So it's better than the Xbox Series S. Not as good as the X. Not as good as PS5 Pro. But better in certain areas than the S.
Man, Sony got to do a lot, man. If I buy the next Call of Duty,
do a lot.
If I buy the next Call of Duty for the PlayStation 6 and I could play that game on the PlayStation 6 on my PlayStation Portable.
Yeah. But here's the question. You play a lot of Warzone, for example. What if they release Warzone? You've already got a Switch 2, and they say, okay, it's on Switch 2, and here it is. On Switch 2, you're gonna. I don't know how you play your Switch 2, but I'm guessing because you travel a lot now, it's mostly in handheld mode.
Yeah, it's mostly 90% of the time it's handheld, even when I'm home.
Handheld. So you're gonna get a 1080p, at least 60 frames per second experience in Warzone handheld, depending on your Wi-Fi at the time. Now, when you put it on TV, it probably goes up. It gets better resolution, better frame rate, whatever. Sony, even if Sony does all of that and they match the Switch 2's capability, they are missing one thing Nintendo has when it comes to their portables, and that comes down to first-party exclusives. And Sony has been putting out one first-party exclusive per year in the last 3 years. That's not. I mean, they are literally selling consoles on the back of third parties.
Yeah,
which you can get everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
So
got a lot of work. They got a lot of work to do if they want the handheld space. They don't need to work anymore on the console space. They've got their market cornered. Their PlayStation has become the default home console.
yeah.
Switch is the default hybrid, and Microsoft has to carve their own space. Their own space is now going to be, we're going to milk you Xbox fans for every penny you're willing to give us.
Yeah.
And they got 20 million of those guys.
They're gonna
Which
sell
is
their
that's very healthy.
they're gonna sell their console at a profit.
Oh, 30%. That's their margin. 30%. That's a big margin, bro. That's bigger than Nintendo makes. Nintendo made like 15%. That's considered stupid high.
Yeah.
That's considered way crazy high numbers. Everybody is in the single digits. And they said 30% accountability profits.
So do you have any advice for the Xbox gamers out there for the future?
Yeah. Stop being slaves to your company, man. I was that guy. I was like, I am still through and true a Nintendo fan at the end of the day, but that's because of my childhood nostalgia growing up with them, right? I've played NES, SNES, N64, GameCube, Wii U, Switch 2. There has not been a system from Nintendo since I was 6 years old that I haven't owned. I've owned the Game Boy, the DS, the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Micro, all of them, all the way through. Now I didn't do the iterations, DSi, 3DS XL, all that crap, but I did get the original versions of each of those.
Yeah.
So I'm aware of my bias when it comes to Nintendo. But with the Wii U generation, I was that guy that held the line. And it was fun. I liked my Wii U. It was a great console for me. Looking back, I know there was no real reason for me to hold the line for a company that just was not meeting my needs as a gamer. Because realistically, I played the Wii U a lot. I did. But there were games on PS4 and on Xbox One even that I really wanted to play, and I just never got around to it until I got a PlayStation 4. That's when I started playing the games that I was missing out on. Nintendo's great for first party, but now that you're an Xbox fan and you know that your Xbox first party exclusives are now going to be on PC, they are now going to be on PlayStation, they are now going to be on Nintendo. Hell, they already are on PlayStation. They already are on Nintendo. They already are on PC. The only reason to stay diehard to your console now is we have to wait to see what their next system is going to be like.
Let's wait the Phil talks.
Phil Spencer, he's doing what he's got to do as a manager. We used to be managers.
Yeah.
And when we used to get new rules, we used to collectively sigh as management and go, how do we spin this positively to our teams so that they don't quit? You remember?
Yeah, he used to walk like defeated, like
damn. We broke the system. How do we change? All right. Well, how do we go back and tell them that the comp packages are new? Anyway, Phil Spencer's job is not easy. This man, he loves his brand. He loves the Xbox. He loves games. You can tell he does. And he says something, and that's the latest information he was given. So he goes with that information, and he provides it to the audience in good faith. He does it in good faith. He tells us what he knows. And he's pretty high up there. And then the higher ups change their freaking minds on him. They don't tell him.
Nope.
So he's out there doing interviews. He's out there telling us all these cool things. And you want to, I mean, who else? You want to take the CEO, right? Like, you want to take his word for it, right? And then the president of the freaking company comes out, the guy above the guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, we're about to change everything you've ever known. And we're going to make blah, blah, blah. So I feel bad for Phil. I even feel bad a little bit for Sarah Bond. By the way, she should be fired. But I don't think Phil should be fired. I think Sarah Bond should be fired because she's the one that gives him orders. And she's been giving him very bad orders. she's she's the head of the Xbox division. She's the one in charge of Xbox. Phil's the talking head for her. He's the guy that comes out and talks for her.
Sarah Bond was like, I think she's like a marketing. Her career started in marketing.
Yeah, and she was probably really good at that.
Yeah, digital marketing. Yeah,
but I think Phil was too. Even like, but so Phil Spencer, Reggie Fils-Aimé, they were all marketing people, and when they started like for their respective companies. But anyway, as an Xbox fan, let's say during the 360 days, which I was, and I was a huge fan on the Xbox original. You got to stop being blind fanboys to every company, and that includes myself with Nintendo, anybody with PlayStation. Even before that, I was kind of blind, but for the Dreamcast, I was very gun-ho, even when they were like dying. But I've learned. I think I've learned. Maybe I haven't.
Pokemon could be better, but I'm still on that. I'm still on the farm.
Maybe I haven't. I'm very happy with my Switch 2 so far. Just put it that way. But it's I understand being a brand or brand loyal, where you feel like you've invested your time, money, energy, your emotions, right? You even probably built friendships and communities. A lot of people have gotten married with people who found their partner on Xbox Live. You know what I mean? I've got friends, Laura. I met Laura on Xbox Live. Like, before I knew that she knew people that I knew. This is back when like Xbox Live would tie you to your local area codes, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a minute, you're from the same place I'm from? Oh, cool. And then that's how I became friends with a lot of people on Xbox Live. So I can understand the nostalgia behind it. But when they stop looking out for me, they stop providing the thing that I want most. Me, I'm old school. What I want most out of my gaming company is exclusives. So if I'm going to buy a Switch 2, I gotta have a game on there that I can't play anywhere else. Yeah. First and foremost, it's got to justify why did I drop $450 on a system at launch. Well, Mario Kart World is a pretty big one. Donkey Kong Bonanza is pretty big. Well, they just announced an Animal Crossing update. Cool. Metroid Prime is gonna come out in November. Yeah, that's pretty freaking neat. That's all in 4 months.
If that get delayed, won't be surprised if.
No, that's got a solid release date. It's going to be out in actually in a week. But that got delayed. That was a GTA 6 of Nintendo. That was like a decade. So, but we're talking about 3 or 4 major first party brands in the first 4 months of the console's life. Not bad. Microsoft's not offering that to you. So you've got to look at your system and look at it and say, what is it going to offer me for the price? If convenience, we don't know what it's going to be, but let's say it's everything that me and Chris just talked about. If convenience, the ecosystem, carrying over all your old games, for example, backwards compatibility of games you already own from Xbox One, 360, the OG Xbox.
That should be the minimum if they're bringing it to a PC.
If all of that carries over and you own those games and they're already in your library and you've got a substantial library, now I can understand an investment in the next console. You're justifying it a little bit better for me. Because exclusives, they're not happening anymore. We know that. And if it's just performance, then for $1,200, I can get a better PC. But if it's all of those things, ease of use with the Xbox ecosystem, of course, we have to wait. That's the first thing I said. We have to wait for the next system. If none of those things are there, though, I don't see a reason to own the Xbox. If all of those reasons are there, all of them have to be there. All of them.
Yeah.
It justifies it a little bit more. And now I'm looking at an investment because systems do last now 10 years. The console life cycle is around a decade now. So $100 per year, $1,000, right? 10 years. That's not terrible. I can understand investing in that. Only if it gives me all the PC features plus all those things that I said with the backwards compatibility. Now we're talking about something that's now it's value. Now it's value, bang for your buck. But that's still, it's a high entry point. Over the long term, it's valuable over the long term.
Yeah, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'm gonna just piggyback to what you said.
Yeah.
So like, if I had if I kept my Xbox from the 360 days, and I continued on to the One and the X and all of that, and let's say the new console, it doesn't take discs, which is cool, which is going to be the future.
Right.
But if they said, listen, we know you have this game because we see that you logged 1,000 hours into this game, whatever. Now we're not gonna, because you have it in your history, it's in your catalog that you owned it digitally and you played it. You could pay the $10 to bring that game over, so that way you could play it now. I would consider that. That'd be
that's not a bad idea either.
Like at minimum, if they're offering me that, a way to continue to play my 360 game, like, I mean, I wouldn't want to play. I wouldn't want to play 360 games, but
right. But there are a lot of people who do.
Yeah, but if it was there, then
yeah,
yes.
I have a lot of games that I bought on 360 back in the day that are just I'm never gonna play them again, but they're probably showing as purchased.
Yeah. So what I was saying is like how they do the upgrade when you go from PS4 to PS5, Switch
Right.
1 to Switch 2, you pay the $10 fee or and then boom, now it's on a new thing.
Better graphics. Yeah.
I could get behind that because
I agree.
not every game is not gonna go. Not every game not gonna make it to the next Xbox console, and you got to know that now. They keep saying your Xbox library, your catalog, they're selling you that dream, but everybody.
And let's be real, what they really want to do is get everybody over on Game Pass. That's really what they want to do.
Yeah.
And they've been successful with Game Pass. I will give them this. They've thrived in Game Pass where Google failed and where Amazon is struggling. They've done a better job with it, and I think that is 100% everything to do with the Xbox brand. It's the only thing that kind of cements them over Google and cements them over Amazon, is that they're known for games. Even GameFly is still doing discs. Like they're still doing the old Netflix model where they mail you a disc.
Their name still has some power.
It's a brand, and it's a 24-year-old brand. A lot of people grew up on Xbox. Like if you were 5 years old 25 years ago, like you're 30 now.
Yeah.
You're 30 now, and you had an OG Xbox and a GameCube.
Yeah.
That's probably what you had, or a PlayStation 2 and an Xbox. It's one of the, like, it still is a powerful brand. They know that. And I think that's what they're taking advantage of, is that they know that they've got a powerful brand with those diehard consumers. It's like Samsung, right? Samsung, they're known for everything, but Samsung makes washer and dryers. But when I think of washer and dryers, I think of Whirlpool. And if I went to Home Depot, I probably would pick a Whirlpool over a Samsung washer and dryer. Now, when it comes to Xbox cloud gaming in general, if your choice is Amazon, Google, or Xbox, probably Xbox would stand out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Funny story. I'm doing a delivery, and I'm doing a delivery. I'm doing a pickup for a company called Electrolux.
I know Electrolux.
And what do you know Electrolux?
I know them as like vacuums.
Electrolux, the vacuum. So I go to pick up for Electrolux, and I'm just like, yo, my mom had this old white and red Electrolux vacuum. Yo, y'all make vacuums now? But no, they don't really, that's not their thing no more. But
But that's what I know. I know from vacuums.
what their thing is now is fridges. And I was like,
Really?
I said, I said I ain't never
Seeing an
seen.
Electrolux fridge.
Yeah, and he said, yeah, that's because it's we make them, but it's not the name. I was like, so what fridges y'all make? And he said, the dude was like, nigga, that section is Samsung, that section is GE, that section is Whirlpool, that section is Maytag.
When I think of fridges, I think of Maytag and Frigidaire. They're probably making something for each of them.
Yeah. So Electrolux makes fridges now. All the fridges that we love and know and have in our
They
houses.
got like an Electrolux engine in it or something. But yeah, but that's the thing is like when Google announced Stadia, you would think the largest internet-based company would have a monopoly on cloud gaming. That's a no-brainer.
I mean, it was a good idea. It was a smart game plan. No pun intended. But
But Stadia was an
um,
epic fail
but they had no skin in the game.
because nobody associated with Google with games.
Yeah, yeah,
And Amazon is struggling now with Luna doing the same thing.
yeah,
And they said, hey, here with Prime, you can watch movies and you can play games, and here's this controller for $100. You buy
yeah,
the controller and you can play all the games you want. But they're struggling, and there's rumors that they're done with that. They're done with the servers. And Amazon has some of the biggest servers on the planet. I think they control like a third of the entire internet is
yeah,
Amazon. And they're looking to get the hell out of gaming. So Xbox is popular in that way where their branding, they're lucky enough to have Microsoft behind it. Now, Microsoft, cloud gaming, Windows, and they happen to have Xbox as the brand. They are lucky in that regard. Where cloud gaming, they're going to be the pioneers of that. They really have been. And Game Pass is still popular. Even with the price hikes, they didn't see a huge dip in numbers from their latest fiscal reports.
it just happened like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but even in that period, they didn't see a drop. And by the way, shame on all of you for continuing to pay for that. 10 stayed on board for $30 a month. But they also did a grandfathered in plan. I don't know if you heard about this. So anybody that was doing auto pay, they stayed on the old price. Is
Okay.
everybody who stopped doing auto pay or had dropped off, or new people will pay the new price. And also PC, Xbox Game Pass is still cheaper than, it's like $17 a month or something like that, which is still a good deal. Regardless, anybody that's paying $30 a month is crazy. If you're not playing, I don't know, man. Microsoft is the only one that can actually get away with that. Nintendo and Sony right now cannot do cloud gaming in the same way. They're not capable of doing that yet. Maybe in a decade they'll get their own infrastructures up. But PlayStation cloud gaming, real cloud gaming, has been lackluster.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, but nobody feeds into it. Nobody plays it. They don't have the numbers there.
I mean, I do. I mean, it's free with my PSN Plus account, and that's only because I'm using Romaine's PlayStation, and I log in, and he only got 400 gigs of space. I took all of that over with Call of Duty. So then when
Yeah, how much is it? 120 gigs now? Something crazy?
it's something stupid, and then when Alex comes over, he wants to play Fortnite and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like, damn, do I delete Call of Duty, which I haven't played in a year, or do I?
Damn, has it been that long?
It's kind of been like it's been a while.
Wow.
And do you download Fortnite and then delete his save games that he don't play to make room for Alex? I'd just be like, nah. But then I go over to the game for Fortnite and it says, oh, stream now. I'd be like, oh shit. And I stream it and it's seamless. There's no lag. There's no delay.
I didn't have any problem with it playing it when I was in Colombia. You remember that you saw me log in and you thought it was my cousin coming downstairs and jumping on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
It works. It works fine, actually. But it was more of a novelty for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was more like it was more like, hey, check this cool feature out that I can do, and I was kind of showing it off more than anything.
Yeah,
Whereas when I played PC, for example, when I played Xbox Game Pass when Starfield came out,
yeah.
it felt like I was playing Xbox.
Okay.
Like
Well,
I felt like I was playing my Xbox, and I even it was weird for me, like the out of body. It was almost an out of body experience when I played Starfield and I started seeing like my gamer score go up, achievement
yeah.
unlocked, and I was like, this feels like what I used to play.
Well, yeah. Well, just to double down for me, man, it
Yeah,
came to convenience. I didn't have to download Fortnite or download Roblox or download the game to the hard drive.
right.
Um, he was able. He we share the same profile, so all his skins and all that stuff
Was
was
there?
he clicked. It opened up. It played. Same thing with Grand Theft Auto, GTA Online. I don't have to I don't have to re-download the game. I could just stream it and then hop right online, and it's playable. So
I mean, it's convenient. The
yeah,
cloud gaming is, again, we don't like to say it. Gamers hate this, but it is the future. It is what's coming. Um, it may work well on PlayStation right now, and they are not having huge problems with it, but they also have a lot fewer people on that ecosystem than Xbox does. I think Xbox is tailoring that market. That's their future. I think that they're going to be the pioneers in that. They have been the pioneers in that. Um, they have a paid service for it where Sony kind of is dabbling in it, and Amazon kind of includes it with Prime. It's kind of like
yeah,
both Sony and Amazon treat it almost like a feature more than
yeah,
like its main focus. Where
yeah.
Microsoft is
Microsoft
like
has Azure, right?
they're
Azure.
punching it. Yeah, they're punching it like it's like it's a product. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like this is what you're buying. And that's and it felt different for me. Whereas when I logged into my PlayStation 5, it was cool because I can see my PlayStation catalog that I owned. Um, but I felt like I was remotely accessing the PlayStation 5 at my house. When I logged into Game Pass, it felt like I had my system in front of me. I don't know if that makes sense. It
yeah. It's those sounds and those cues that they do.
it
Um,
felt like I'm playing an Xbox in front of me
yeah,
versus I'm turning my PS5 on
yeah,
a
because
thousand miles away.
yeah, they make memes all the time. The sound of cutting the game on is that PlayStation beep. That's
It was that beep.
that's the iconic
And
PlayStation sound.
when you log into Game Pass, you kind of get that experience too, where the logo pops up
360, yeah,
and you're
you get
getting
that
like
boom, that
console
sound.
feel.
Yeah,
And if you have good enough internet, and this is for both the PlayStation and Xbox, it's a very clean experience. I've never experienced a bad. Both times I played my PlayStation 5 and Game Pass, I had very good clean cloud experiences. Hell, I even played some cloud games on the Switch back in the day, the games that shouldn't even run on the Switch because they were cloud games. But anyway,
hot take.
hot takes. Any final thoughts before we got 2 hours almost in on this
Well,
I
you
mean,
could.
you haven't been here in a long time, so we had a
We
lot to
ain't been in
cover.
a while. You could cut the PlayStation segment. The
No, no,
Xbox
no.
was
So
on video.
all of this stuff, because check out our shorts. All of this stuff is gonna get broken down into
Okay.
shorts, and that'll be good for like the next 2 months of shorts.
Okay. Man. Realistically, and price wise, I took me and Alex went to Walmart last week. We went to the game section. We were looking at games. I thought he was looking at games. He was looking at Fortnite cards, so he could buy skins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and funny, we looked at the Switch games and we looked at PlayStation games and took him to the Xbox section. And he says, I hate Xbox. I don't like Xbox.
Well, that sounds just like
And
Daddy.
there's an Xbox in the middle. He just don't. I never.
He sounds like
I,
Daddy.
I never showed my bias that I hate Xbox, but you know, but I seen the portal. I seen the portal there,
Yeah,
and I think it's 200. And I was looking at it,
it's
and
too
I
much.
said, yo, for $200, I could play my games, and I could log into my account,
You can do
and I.
that now with your cell phone.
But it's not the same. I need the
It's
controller.
better. Your cell phone has a higher quality screen, and you can get the PlayStation Grip for $80.
I got an old iPhone 12,
That has a better screen than the Portal.
but um, yeah, man, I was kind of it sounds tempting, man.
No,
It
you
sounds
would be wasting your time and money.
it's, as much as I
It's
play
$200 versus an $80 grip.
as much as I play my Switch 2 and just sit back on the bed, TV just rambling on,
Yeah.
and I'm just fucking just playing Pokemon or Mario Kart, just chilling. And you mean I could do that and also uh play Spider-Man or GTA? It would most likely be GTA Online. Yeah.
Listen carefully because I just Googled it for you to make sure that I wasn't spouting nonsense. iPhone 12 screen specs versus PS Portal. And this is Google's AI. The iPhone 12 features a superior OLED display with higher pixel density, while the PlayStation Portal only offers a larger LCD screen. You are getting a full 60 hertz refresh rate and 1080p full HD resolution on the iPhone 12. Go buy a grip. It's better than the PS Portal.
The screen's not this screen size, bro.
It's better. It's better. Higher pixel density. It's
Yo, but
literally better. Literally better.
it's like saying a 24-inch 1080p versus a 4K ultra wide 80-inch TV.
It's not 4K though. Here's the thing: the PS Portal is 1080p on a bigger screen, stretched out, which
My
means
eyes don't notice
literally.
the difference.
But you will notice the difference. This is your fanboy coming out. That's the
My eyes don't
hey,
notice
all
the
your Xbox fans, all you Xbox fans. This is what you guys sound like. You sound like that. This is what you guys sound like defending Phil Spencer's bullshit. It's
wait till Jim Ryan comes out.
Bring Jim Ryan back. Hashtag Ken Kutaragi. Uh, bring those guys back. Anyway, he really wants a PS Portal because it got the PlayStation brand on it, and that's the important part. And that's the fanboy, and that's why Xbox fans pay for Xbox stuff, and that's why you'd pay for an Xbox, or that's why you'd pay for a PS Portal because it says PlayStation on it.
I'm waiting for the next portable. I'm waiting.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it because it has PSP versus DS, and it has PS Vita versus 3DS written all over it. Sony's gonna learn for a third time.
I never bought any of those PlayStation portables.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to come out.
But what I'm saying is, I'm waiting to hear the specs and what it's going to do and what it's going to play.
It doesn't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter.
But
it's still gonna fail.
If I buy Call of Duty on the PlayStation 6 and it works on the portable,
yeah,
and I could buy the game once.
Owning already, let's say you already own a Switch 2 and it's going to come out on a Switch 2.
At that point, the looks would matter. The graphics would matter.
On a portable?
Graphics and gameplay.
I think not. And that's where the majority of gamers, and this is where you're going to be stuck in a failing ecosystem, because that's what happens with every PlayStation Portable. They're technically superior consoles than the Nintendo counterpart. And that matters all for naught because Sony quickly gets the money. They cash grab every PlayStation fan out there who bought the hardware, and then 2 years in, they fucking abandoned them. That they did it with the PSP, they did it with the PlayStation Vita. They're not gonna do it. They can barely put out first-party products for their for their PlayStation 5. They're gonna split that into a portable as well. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
clusterfuck.
Well, so here's my thing, right? And
Like one per year.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, if they split their development teams to make separate games for a handheld and the console, then they already lost.
That's all they
So
can do. What else
what
can they do?
what they doing with the portable, the portal right now? Just make it untethered and make it so you could digitally download or whatever, and you can play it offline.
I think that's going to be a key feature of all those things. I think all those things will be included, but the same thing that you and I are screaming about the Xbox is where are the exclusives for this thing? Why should I own this thing over anything else if it's playing the same games? And if it doesn't have any exclusives for the portable, it's going to be another expensive hunk of thing that Sony is selling to compete with Nintendo and in the same space where they've lost for 3 generations. Anyway, that's my on the portable side of things. I will say I am a diehard Nintendo guy because on the portable side of things, they have shown nothing but dominance since the 1980s. They killed the Master System, they killed the Game Gear, they killed the Nomad, they killed the Neo Geo Pocket Color, they killed the Atari Lynx, they killed the PlayStation Portable, they killed the PlayStation Vita. Every single handheld that has come up against it.
You are correct. So,
and Sony has Sony abandoned the PSP. They abandoned the UMD. They abandoned the PS Vita. I don't know. Sony just wants to sell.
Also coming from a Nintendo fan, if they made a Switch 2 Pro that runs Call of Duty comparable or just a little bit under than the PlayStation 6,
it's never gonna happen.
Then Nintendo, you got me sold.
Nintendo doesn't matter. They're gonna bring out Call of Duty because it's Activision that's making it.
Yeah. All I'm saying is I got Street Fighter 6 on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I think Street Fighter 6 on the Switch 2.
Uh-huh.
Look the same to me.
Look the same to me too.
Look the same to me.
Hard for me to look at there and go, oh no, that's the shadow on this freaking part here.
Now, what I'm saying, now Call of Duty, so modern Black Ops on the PS3 didn't look like Black Ops on the Wii.
No, but it did look the same on the Wii U.
Okay. But I'm talking about the Wii.
No, yeah, there was a generation, but the Wii was a generation behind.
Or when did Black Ops? All right, so Black
Ops 1 was significantly better looking on PS3 than on Wii.
So I'm sorry, my bad, I misspoke. So Black Ops 1 on the Xbox 360 did not look the same as on the Wii.
No, Xbox was superior.
Yeah, but there was you compare Black Ops 1 on the 360 and the Wii, and then PlayStation, and then Street Fighter 6 on the PS5 on the Switch 2.
It's a big difference. Yeah, there's a big difference. The Switch 2 version is comparable. Like you gotta freeze frame it and go look at the pixels here, look at the frame rate here, look at the shadows here.
So if Call of Duty comes out on a Switch 2
and it looks like that, comparable.
It looks comparable. Or if I have to wait for a Switch 2 Pro.
There's not going to be a Switch 2 Pro.
Then
there's going to be a Switch 2. Yeah. There's going to be mark my words for all you fanboys out there. There's going to be a weaker Switch 2 with less features at lesser price before a Switch 2 Pro. There's going to be a Switch 2 Lite that only is handheld with the controllers fixed to it, just like the Switch Lite. That's going to be the next Switch. And then the next version, since they learned, because you Nintendo fanboys are just as dumb as the Xbox fanboys and just as dumb as the PlayStation fanboys, they know that they're going to bring out an OLED model with a better screen and they don't have to boost up the graphics capabilities. There's a better screen on it. That's going to be 1440p. It won't even be 4K. 1440p 10 a 1440p 120 OLED for $50 more for 500, and you're going to buy it. Everybody out there is
Yeah, I
going
want
to
to buy.
rush to the store.
That'll be Cyclone.
But
Yeah,
that's but also the Nintendo fanboys. They're going to
yeah,
run to the store and get the OLED model, and then they might even buy the Switch Lite because this one's just purely portable.
yeah. I mean, I play mine 90% portable mode
There's a
with
Switch
the
Lite out
charger.
there. Would you buy a Switch Lite over a regular Switch?
No.
No. I would at least go for the mid model that attaches to the TV as well. It got the
Yeah,
dock. I
yeah.
wouldn't. I understand going for OLED. It's the that's the premium one because it has the better. Anyway, we digress. We've got about 2 hours worth. Yeah, 2 hours exactly of
Hey,
a
I'm good.
podcast here. This is gonna be good to split up into shorts for the next month and a half, 2 months. Want to thank everybody who stuck with us. Thank Chris, who's on the road with his new job. The guy's been very busy, so you haven't seen him on the channel. But I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you, Chris, for joining me here tonight. Hopefully, we get to do this again. I know you're very busy, but always appreciate it when
Hey,
you
man,
hop
pleasure to
on.
be
You've been
here.
here since day one. Yeah, everybody, keep watching, keep subscribing, leave comments below. If you love Battlefield, if you're like Chris and you're waiting for that PlayStation Portable, if you're like Jason and you're waiting for that next Xbox Premium experience, or if you're like me and you're just a cheap gamer that wants to play video games and not spend $1,000 on it, let us know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.